Hi, guys. This is Cliff from cliffslist. And tonight I've got Jizzy DaBiggest here for us, a special interview, which I think you're going to find very interesting and informative. And I guess for those of you who aren't familiar with Jizzy, go ahead and tell the guys a little bit about yourself, and then we'll launch right into it.
All right, well, like Clifford said, my name is Jizzy DaBiggest. I'm a recording artist, I'm an actor, I'm a model, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm also a businessman.
That's pretty good. And do you do anything in particular that relates to helping guys become more successful with women?
Uh, nah, but I do try to give advice to my friends sometimes. Like a lot of my friends will come to me with relationship advice. I give them my 2 cents, and then I just let them do what they do with that information.
So I guess that you have a reputation with your friends that you're pretty good with women in relationships.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Um, well, that's good. Well, maybe you can sort of tell us a little bit about your I guess your past, how you sort of became good with women in the beginning, like when you first sort of had interest in women, and how you learn what you learned. Maybe you had some people you met who taught you things, or you learned things somehow or other. Maybe you can just give us a little bit of that kind of insight into how you got your own knowledge and skills about things.
Okay, well, I would say number one, with the woman, in order for you to be in good standings with a woman, you have to be able to listen to the woman. So it's like most of the time when we deal with women, I feel like women, they want somebody who could listen to them. So that way, when you listen to them, they come to us with their problems, we listen, and then once we listen, I feel like we can help them come up with a strategy to help them maneuver and navigate through their problems.
Absolutely. I think listening is a lost art these days. People just, are sort of lost in their own heads a lot of times, and they don't even hear you when you talk to them. A lot of people are like that, and
Yes.
women respond to you when you listen to what they have to say, and then they start to listen to you too.
They do.
So, did you have some experience that taught you? I get, like getting good with women is a little bit of a complicated uh, uh, process for some guys. I don't know. Maybe you were a natural at it, which just sort of just everything you did sort of was right. I met a lot of guys like that, and then but the other ones that had to sort of figure it out for a bit. What was your sort of path?
Well, for me, I was raised by my grandma and my granddad. So it's like me and my grandma always used to have conversations and she'll like tell me like, how to talk to a woman, how to treat a woman, how to respect a woman, how to pretty much be there for a woman whenever a woman needs me. So I really just soaked up that game when I was younger and everything that she was telling me years ago, I pretty much put it into my everyday life as far as like a relationship goes. And then ever since that happened, I've been doing pretty good. So it's like now I can easily get a woman. And then not only can I get a woman, I can also keep her. But back in the day, I couldn't because I was younger. So it's like when I was younger, I was young and dumb. It's like I really didn't care. I was a cheater. I was a liar. I was a narcissist. I was a manipulator. But it's like now, it's like I don't do none of that stuff now. It's like I turned over a whole new leaf as far as like women go.
Well, that's an interesting thing because there's a lot of talk about how guys who are call them difficult for one reason or another that challenges women a lot of ways. Um, and there's guys out there that believe that the way to handle women is to treat them poorly. And when if you're a
Yeah.
narcissist and you're doing all the things you mentioned, a lot of that is often reflected in not the best treatment for women from a nice guy's perspective, which we is also a problem. Being too nice is also not good. Um, but
Right.
did you find a big difference in the women from when you were the way you were before and then the way after you changed? Like what was the effect on that when you're in your relationships?
Oh, well, I would say back then I was in the streets. I came from the streets. So it's like when I was in the streets, I used to just deal with like bad females, like who I wasn't really supposed to deal with. And those relationships, it didn't really last long because I was looking for love in the wrong places. So it's like when I was looking for love in the wrong places, those relationships never lasted. But then it's like I got older and I start acting. And then when I start acting, I start leaning towards women that was like more in my field. I'm like, well, I'm an actor. So it's like if I'm an actor, I want to date an actress. So the last actress that I dated, we last for 9 months. And that was my longest relationship. We even stayed together. And she was 30 years old. When I met
Wow.
her, I was 21, she was 30. Now I'm 22 and she's 31. And it lasted for 9 months. And it had its ups and downs, but overall, it was a beautiful relationship. I'm not gonna lie, it was.
So, what I guess you must have learned a lot about staying with a woman from that. It sounds like your first long-term experience. Is that?
Yes, yes, it's my first long-term relationship. Yes, it is.
Did you notice something different that you did there than from the other ones, or was it just that the other women were just more the short-term type because of you met them in the streets rather than through the
Mm,
acting?
I would say they probably were more of the short-term relationship, and she was more of the long-term relationship. So she showed me a lot of different things that the other women couldn't show me, and I showed her a lot of different things that a lot of men probably couldn't show her during the time because they probably was in the streets.
So, what was it that made you decide to sort of stay with her for as long as you did?
Honestly, besides her beauty, it was just her personality, her charisma, like her drive, like just everything about her. Like it's like it was love at first sight. Like it's like when I first laid eyes on her, I knew like me and her was gonna end up being together. It's like and then we met at an actual audition. We met at an acting audition. So I'm like, okay, I come to the acting audition, you come to the acting audition. I'm looking at you, you looking at me, I'm making you blush, you making me blush. Yeah, like we gotta take this seriously. Like, come on now, it's too many sparks going around for us not to stay together.
uh, how did so like you just met her because like who started up with each other? Like who started talking? Did you get introduced to her, or how did it
Um,
happen that?
Honestly, like I said, I met her at an audition. We were both at an acting audition, and when we were at the acting audition, I kept on like flirting with her, and the whole time when I was flirting with her, she was like, giving me the same energy. She was smiling, so it was really me. As a man, I'm the one who initiated everything, and then when I initiated everything, one thing led to another. I got her number, she got my number, and then that same evening after the audition, I ended up going home with her. And then maybe like a month or two later, I stopped paying rent because I had my own place. I stopped paying rent in my place, and then I moved in with her, and we were staying together for 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should ask you, but what broke it up?
Honestly, what really broke it up was me being 21. I would say just me being 21, me just having a young mindset, not having the mindset that I have now. Like honestly, the mindset what I have now, if I would have had that mindset then, 9 times out of 10 we'll probably still be together during this time.
Okay. How long ago was this?
Like I said, we were together for 9 months and we broke up January of this year. So we broke up probably like 3, 4 months ago.
Still in touch with her?
Nah, I'm not. I want to be, but she doesn't really want to talk to me like that for some reason. So I still love her. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like I feel like she still loves me, but it's more like love from a distance.
I see. Um, well, so tell me how you've been, I guess, how you meet women in general. Do you typically meet them through an introduction, or do you, here you were at the audition there, but in general, in your regular life, is it how do you typically meet women?
Normally, when I meet women, this is funny. So Tinder, I meet some women off of Tinder. I meet
Uh-huh.
some women off of BOK. But most of the women that I meet, if I don't meet them in person, I'll meet them off Instagram because, like I said, I'm an actor. So most of the women, what I try to come in contact with, they're like women that's in my field. So it's like Sunday, I went to an acting class and I met a couple of beautiful ladies there. So it's a beautiful lady I'm trying to talk to now. Then when I was at the photo shoot last night we had a photo shoot. It was another beautiful lady. So it might be at photo shoots, or it might be at acting classes, or it might be at acting auditions, or it might just be on social media. It just depends on the time because it's a time and place for everything. So it's like when I'm at home, it's on social media. But then when I'm out and about, it's probably like in the streets or like something to do with my career.
So when you meet them, is there some game plan that goes through your mind in terms of what to say to do, or things you're looking for in order to try and sort of establish the enough of a bond for you to either get their number or to go somewhere?
I would say sometimes it just depends because like sometimes I be having like different mindsets. So it's like sometimes I have a game plan off rip, or sometimes I don't come up with my game plan until like I open up my mouth. And then when I open up my mouth, the game plan pretty much goes with my conversation. And then we'll just go from there. But sometimes it just depends. Like I would say like 50-50. Like sometimes yes and sometimes no. It just depends on the situation. It depends on where I'm at, and it also depends on the girl and what exactly I'm trying to do with her. Because sometimes when I'm talking to a girl, sometimes I'm trying to have a relationship, and sometimes it might just be a one night stand. So it just depends on the situation.
Well, tell us a little bit more about Tinder, you in your, I guess, online dating type thing. What do you have any good tips for guys about that?
What I would say, this is exactly what I would say. If you're gonna date a girl from Tinder or be okay, or if you're gonna meet a girl from Tinder or be okay, make sure you meet her in person. That's what I would say. Like, don't just meet a girl and then just go to her house. I would say probably try to maybe like meet her in a public place. Like maybe y'all can probably meet at a library, or maybe y'all can meet at a park, or maybe y'all probably can like go to the movie theaters. That's what I would say. I would say try to meet a girl in a public place. So that way, if you meet her in a public place, if anything happens, it'll be witnesses around. But then it's like, what if you meet her at her place and there's nobody there but her? She could be a crazy girl. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're in a bad situation. It's like you're in a bad spot and you don't really know what's going on. It's like the blind leading the blind. It's like she doesn't know you, you don't know her, and you're going to her territory. So since you're going to her territory, she automatically has the upper hand. And it's like whatever happens, happens. You put yourself in that situation. So I would say, but before that, I would say definitely know your intentions. Like when you go on these type of apps and dating sites, you definitely need to know your intentions. You definitely need to know, okay, like is she gonna be a friend, or is she gonna be a one night stand? Like what is she gonna be? So I would say definitely know your intentions, because if you don't know your intentions, then it's the whole thing is gonna kind of pretty much fail. Because it's like, what are y'all doing? Like you're an adult, she's an adult, and y'all just playing around with each other. She doesn't know what she want, you don't know what you want. Y'all just wasting each other's time. So figure out your intentions. Then when you figure out your intentions, she figure out her intentions, and then that's when y'all will be like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what you want to do, and then y'all can come up with a game plan. Okay, well, since this is what we want to do, y'all figure out the stuff in common. Oh well, I like outdoor adventures. You like outdoor adventures, so maybe you might go to a park. I like frisbee. You like frisbee. Okay, well, we'll go to a park and we'll play frisbee. You like to eat at a picnic. I like to eat at a picnic, and then you just go from there, and just keep everything as safe as possible, because when you go on these dating apps, you don't know them and they don't know you. So keep everything as safe as possible, so that way you won't end up another statistic.
Ever had any bad experiences from these women that are kind of strangers when you meet them from online?
Yes, I had a few. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had a situation where it wasn't Tinder or be okay, but it was Instagram. I was dealing with a girl, and the whole time I thought she was single, and they all had boyfriends. And one time, a girl was trying to get me to come to the crib. She tried to set me up. She tried to rob me. She tried to kill me. Then her boyfriend was involved too. So, yeah, I had a few bad situations. So I thank God that I'm still here.
It sounds like pretty rough, pretty rough.
Very
Um,
well.
but you know, meeting them, I guess, in public is certainly a good idea. But I think the guys would be interested to learn, like, is there something special that you say, probably more say than do, on it when it comes to online, that will get them to be willing to meet with you? Because a lot of times, you meet these girls on Tinder, and it just doesn't go anywhere. You don't meet them because the conversation just doesn't progress, or it doesn't get you to
Yeah,
a point where you're meeting them.
yeah.
Do you have
I've been in those situations too.
you have anything that you do in particular after your experiences that's made you more able to get them out?
What I do is sometimes when a girl matches with me and I match with a girl, sometimes she'll text me first, or sometimes she doesn't. So I'm the type person, I don't always like to text first, because like when I text first, I just text and I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting, and nobody responds. So sometimes what I do is I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, well, I match you first and you match back with me. So obviously you must have matched with me for a reason. So then that's when I try to give them benefit of the doubt, and I give them a certain time to like respond, or like, like text me first. And if they don't text me first within that amount of time, then I really just unmatch them. Or if I text a girl first and she texts me first, no matter who texts each other first, and we're just talking to each other and she's not really saying anything, I go, honestly, I go off energy. So it's like if I'm talking to a girl and she's not showing no interest in me, I'm not gonna really show no interest in her. But if she shows a whole bunch of interest, I'm gonna show a whole bunch of interest. So that determines whether the conversation progresses or not. And honestly, what I normally used to do, I always used to like give my number out first. I always give my number as soon as I match with a girl. I'll just be like, text my phone. I don't be on here like that, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm just giving a whole bunch of people my number. And then it's like when people always text me, people will just text me, and then I'm getting mad or like I'm confused. Like, where did they get my number from? Dude, you were just on Tinder. You were just on BOK. You just gave a random stranger your number. So she texted you. So obviously you should know where the text messages are coming from. So I try not to give strangers my number I've ripped unless I feel like I have a need to, or I feel like I have a desire to. Like, it's the energy. Like, you have to give me the energy. You have to give me the vibe. And you have to give me a reason in order for me to give you my number. Because if you don't give me a reason to give you my number, I'm not going to give you my number. And I'm just going to unmatch you. And then, hey, on to the next. You go your way, I go mine. And then that's it.
Yeah, no, it's very important to let them know that you can walk away. It's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty good. So when you go to these, I guess these acting auditions, you find like a lot of the women there are single also, or you just never know?
I mean, sometimes, honestly, nowadays in 2025 in today's society, it's like you don't even know who's single and who's in a relationship. Only time you'll know somebody in a relationship is if they'll tell you. But like normally what I try to do is I try to like look at fingers, like if it's a ring on the finger. 9 times out of 10, if it's a ring on the finger, that means she's married. I'm not gonna mess with no married girl. But if I look at a girl and she's so beautiful, I'll try to like, talk to her. But then I might not ask her if she have a boyfriend, like, because I'm an actor and I'm a writer, so I have way words. So it's like if I'm having a conversation with a girl, like I might be like, oh, like outside of acting, like, what do you like doing? She might be like, "Oh, I love to go to the gym. I like to work out." So then that's when I slip in the question. Okay, well, what about your boyfriend? Like, does your boyfriend work out with you? Like, I might not ask. Like, you got a boyfriend? Like, that's how I used to do when I was younger. But it's like now, since I'm older, the more older I get, the more I get developed, and the more I get equipped with words, and then I can just play with words, so I can use it to my advantage. So it's like me knowing words so much and me being in all these fields, sometimes it's a curse, but it's also a blessing because I can be good with words, but then sometimes I can also put my foot in my mouth too. But most of the time, I don't really know if they're single unless you have a conversation with them. And then a girl can also be lying. Like, she can tell you she has a boyfriend, she might not have a boyfriend. Or a girl could tell you that she's single and she can have 2 or 3 boyfriends. So it's like, you never really know in 2025. Today's society, it's scary. You never know. And then sometimes, you got the, no disrespect to them, but you got the transgenders. Like, sometimes you might think you're talking to a pretty girl, and a pretty girl could have the same private part that you have, and you don't even know, because some transgenders will tell you that they're transgender, but some people won't tell you, and until it's like too late. And then by the time you find out, hey, you want to kill them.
Yeah, that's no fun. I had a couple of close calls myself, but fortunately, we were stopped in time. But that's a pretty big change, I think, today that we have this to deal with compared to probably years ago.
Mhm.
Uh, but okay, so I guess do you meet women during the day at all, or it's more just like in these sort of circumstances online and on when you're doing auditions or certain events?
Mm, when I try to come in contact with women, I really try to come in contact with them like, like during the day. I try not to meet too many women at night unless, like I said, we're at a photo shoot. Like we had a photo shoot yesterday evening, but then by the time we left, it was dark. So it's like that type of situation, I don't really have a choice because y'all at the photo shoot, y'all got to get y'all photo shot just like I got to get my photo shot. But I try to meet women during the day because it's daylight. Everything that I do, I try to do everything during the daylight. I try not to do nothing like past the street lights because it's like it's dark. Like you had the whole day to do this. So it's like, why would you wait until nighttime to go talk to a girl when you did it throughout the day?
Right. You mentioned earlier that a lot of your guy friends maybe ask you for some advice and stuff. Can you give us a couple of examples of maybe type of problems they would have had or questions they had and type of advice you would have given
Yeah. So this guy isn't my friend right here, but I ended up meeting him through one of my friends. So she's a female, so it's her cousin. So her cousin came up to me, and well, not really me. He was talking to me and his other homeboy, and I just put my input in. So um he was saying something about he was talking to his girl and she told him that it was late at night and she's tired, she just came home from work and stuff like that. So what I told him was, I'm like, it's so crazy how a girl will be tired from work, from busting her butt, putting in all these hours and breaking her back for these long. She's been sweating, she's been doing this, she's been doing that. Now all of a sudden, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night and you're saying you're tired. But then what if the shoes were on the other foot? What if you told her the same story that she told you? It'll probably be a problem. So I'm not saying that she was a liar, but I'm like, that's how women think. Like women will just tell us stuff and then they just expect us to believe it. But then when we tell them the same thing that they told us, they like, oh, who's the other girl? Oh, you cheating on me, or you doing this? You laid up with some girl, or you doing this? You doing that? So I put his shoes on his feet, and right then and there, he respected me for that. And then he's older than me. I think he's like 27. I'm only 22, so he wasn't expecting for me to say something like that. Like honestly, he probably was expecting for him to say that to me. He wasn't expecting for me to say that to him. He wasn't expecting it. But when I definitely told him that, I put him up on game. He definitely respected me for that, for sure.
That's good. Any other good little stories like that?
Um, oof, it's a lot of stories. It'd be hard to think. I gotta pull it out of my brain. Uh, Nah, not that I could think of right now, because it's a lot. It's a lot of stories, but I can't even think right now. I'll have to do some
Okay.
pulling.
All right. Um, well, maybe you can tell the guys a little bit more about what you do. I don't know if you do any coaching or if you have a products or anything like this that you're looking for them to know about. But maybe you can tell them a little bit about how they could find out more about you. Maybe tell them about your Instagram and this type of thing.
Okay, well, you guys can follow me on Instagram at JIZZY.CEO1. That's at Jizzy.CEO1. You can find me on YouTube at JDAGXD. That's pronounced J to God. That's my stage name. You can find me on Facebook at Jizzy DaBiggest, which is this name right here, and make sure you put the space. So Jizzy DaBiggest, my name right here. This is exactly how you can find me on Facebook. So TikTok is also at J God. So TikTok and YouTube is at J God. Instagram is at Jizzy.CEO1, and Facebook is at Jizzy space the biggest. And make sure when you put in D, make sure you capitalize the D, or else it's probably not gonna pop up.
Well, listen, I want to take a minute here and just thank you very much for spending the time with me this evening and telling the guys a little bit about yourself and your own experiences. And I wish you the best of luck with your acting career. It sounds like you're on the right track.
Thank
And
you.
it was good talking with you. And maybe we'll do this again sometime soon.
Thank you. Oh, let me plug in a couple more things. I'm working on a movie right now. I can't say the name of it because I signed the NDA and I don't want to get sued by the casting director. So
Okay.
you'll be seeing me on the movie real soon. I just did an audition Saturday in Buckhead, and I ended up getting a role for a TV show. So y'all will be seeing me on the movie real soon. Y'all will be seeing me on the TV show real soon. And I also just dropped the mixtape like maybe like a little over 2 weeks ago. I dropped it April 11th, and it's called Every Moment Counts. It's on all platforms: Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, just to name a few. And I'm also getting ready to drop an album June 6th, 2025. It's called Best Album of 2025. And those of you who don't know, that date is very special to me because Lil Wayne, I know you guys know Lil Wayne, he's dropping June 6th. He's dropping the Carter 6. So I chose to drop June 6th because he's dropping. Because Lil Wayne is actually my favorite rapper. So I chose the same date as my favorite rapper. So me and him both will be dropping. So be on the lookout for Lil Wayne, the Carter 6, and also be on the lookout for Jada God, Best Album of 2025, dropping on our platforms. So be on the lookout for the album, be on the lookout for the TV show, and be on the lookout for the movie. And also be on the lookout for other podcasts that are dropping as well. Podcasts dropping, podcasts that are coming soon. Make sure you be on the lookout. Anything that you need to know, like I said, hit me on Facebook, hit me up on TikTok, hit me up on Instagram. And yeah, man, check in. Lock in with Jada God. Jada God, Jizzy, Warnell, anything you want to call me, man. All of those name works.
Well, that's quite a resume there. It sounds like you got a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah, I do. I'm a busy man.
That's great. That's really great. Well, again, I want to thank you for taking the time this evening, and wish you all the best and all the luck with all these things. And hopefully, we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Clifford. It was an honor working with you and having me as a guest on your podcast. I enjoyed it.
Great. Thanks very much.
No problem.